Hey there, good morning to you. It's Monday. I'm Greg McQuaid. Thanks so much for joining us on Virginia This Morning.
And I'm Cheryl Miller. Good morning. Our first guest today is a Long Island-based author who specializes in fiction for young adults. Her latest novel explores the relationship between two teens as one battles cancer.
Now, author Selene Castrovilla is here to share her inspiration for writing The Girl Next Door. Welcome, Selene. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Girl Next Door, it is about this very special relationship between two teens. Tell us how they became bonded.
Well, they moved in next door to each other in Manhattan when they were very, very young, and were always the best of friends. But unfortunately, it takes the cancer that the boy's name is Jesse, and he's diagnosed with cancer, and then they realize that they're in love. So then they have to have a really poignant relationship in a very short time.
You go take the reader on a roller coaster. I'm looking at some of the themes as I was reading it. You got love, loss, hope, healing, transitions, life, death, sexuality. You're talking about teenagers here. And as I was reading this, I was thinking back to when I was 17 and how I would absorb some of the themes in here. Were you thinking about that when you were writing this book for young readers?
I did a little bit. It came very organically though, so I didn't think about it too much. I just wrote it. I dreamed the whole thing, so I just wrote the whole thing. Yeah, and I thought about the sex thing after, but these days they're very more accustomed to these things, so they really don't blink an eye. As a matter of fact, there's a lot more racy books for teens out there than this. And he has cancer, so there's really extenuating circumstances here. You know.
That's fascinating. You dreamt all of this. Was it something that you were at night, did you keep a pen and pad of paper next to your bed and wake up with ideas and just start jotting it down?
I do, always do that. But what happened was I was writing another book. My first novel is called Saved by the Music, and that came out last fall. That's autobiographical. Because it's autobiographical, I was having a really hard time writing it. It's very personal. I'm struggling, ridiculous. Then I was rereading The Catcher in the Rye for my MFA program. And when I was reading it, I realized all his problems stem from the fact that he's grieving for his dead brother. His brother, died of cancer, Holden's. So I read it, I was like, oh, I wish I could see this relationship. It's so beautiful. I'd like to see it while the boy's still alive. Then I was watching TV in my children's room, MTV. Late now I know it was the show The Real World. I didn't know what it was then. All I know was that it was a boy who had something, I think it was AIDS, and he was getting a transfusion. And while he was getting it, his girlfriend was holding his hand. And I said, oh, that must be so awful to not know if your boyfriend's going to live or die. And I went to sleep with those two things in my head, and when I woke up, I said, Jesse's dying. And I said, who's Jesse? Because I was writing about Willow and Axel, the characters in my other book. So it was there. I was annoyed, because I was writing the other book.
You were annoyed?
Yes. I said, what's going on? I wrote both books in 3 months.
Wow. Yeah. When I was reading The Girl Next Door, it felt very personal. It almost felt like you were telling a story of someone or something that you knew. But how much research did you have to do to do the medical part of it?
Well, I started writing it, like I said, it was flowing out of me. But I got all kinds of cancer books. I called the cancer hotline. I got the books they send you. I spoke to people. And my friend, really unfortunately, had a best friend that had exactly what Jesse had. I used everything she said. I used it to mirror what Jesse has. So it's based on somebody's actual illness.
Do you bounce ideas off of your children, off of your two sons at all?
Not really, because the older one is 16 now, so he can handle this stuff. The little one is 11. I tell them when I'm writing about it, but frankly, they're not too interested until there's a finished product. They're kind of into their own things. But my older one loves my books, which means so much to me because he's definitely a reluctant reader.
Now, you tend to focus your books on younger readers. Why did you decide to do that?
It wasn't a conscious decision. It's just that I guess I'm in Arrested Development. You write what you know, and I just know this teen angst. I can't explain, but I'm still there. I really become these people. The first book, like I said, was me, and I actually have written an adult novel now also, but it's all depends on what's going to come out. I don't plan it. I just do it. I have to do what I feel.
And the teen angst never goes away, really.
Never goes away. I mean, we're resolving those things for the rest of our lives,
Is that how you're getting your ideas with dreams? Is this next book? Is it really?
Well, yes, personal experience, friends. Like if you say something to me right now, it might trigger something. I don't know where it's gonna. I don't plan it. It just starts coming out. That's the amazing thing.
Just like watching The Real World. There was your idea.
Yeah, exactly. It just happens.
And you're a writer, and so you're looking everywhere, I guess, for ideas for your next novel or your next
ideas. Exactly. Yeah. Ideas are great because they are everywhere, and you can choose. You have to choose the one that compels you the most. Like when I dreamed that, I wouldn't let it go. I had to do it. But I mean, it's just so organic. That's what makes it so much fun.
You never know, the book, the next one that we see in the bookshelves could be about an appearance on a morning talk show.
It might be.
Who
How about
knows?
that?
Yeah. Well, The Girl Next Door is a very emotional read, and it's a wonderful book. You told a great story.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
You're
Selene,
welcome.
thank you.